going to talk about how to form the saxophone embouchure. Embouchure simply means how we put our mouth around the mouthpiece. The saxophone embouchure is what I like to call sort of a round drawstring sort of embouchure. We think of it as a round where we bring everything, corners in, upper lip stays firm, and bottom lip is like a cushion. We still cover our bottom lip over our bottom teeth because our bottom lip is going to go on the reed part. It's going to go on the part where the reed is. Top teeth will go on top of the mouthpiece. When you have the mouthpiece in your mouth, we're going to think of it like a drawstring around the mouthpiece. So it's sort of a round, think about strings here going being pulled in. Like if you have one of those little backpacks that have the strings that you pull, think of your embouchure like that. It brings it all towards the middle. Okay. Another thing you can do when you're working on your saxophone embouchure is you can think about taking your hand and cupping it just so it's angled like this, and just make that sort of sound. So you're still firm all the way around. It's a nice round embouchure. Your bottom lip is nice and cushiony. Corners are pulled in. Your upper lip is pulled down over your teeth. Like that. And what you're doing is you're blowing warm air when you're playing. Okay, let's apply that to the mouthpiece itself. First of all, we want to decide how much mouthpiece we're going to put in our mouth when we play. So when we put the mouthpiece in our mouths, how far do we want to go with that? Okay, so what we can do is we can take a little piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to use a Post-it note. And as you can see how far down the Post-it note goes, okay, to this point. So from this point up, from where the paper ends, that's how much of the reed is not touching the mouthpiece, okay? From this point down, that's where the reed is flush with the mouthpiece. You can see it better from the side maybe, okay? So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we have at least that much reed in our mouthpiece when we're playing, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take, just to remind myself where I need to go, is I'm going to put a light little pencil line right at that point where the paper ends, because I need to remember that my lip is going to go right there at that point. Okay, so I can take that out. So that means your top teeth are going to be slightly above where your bottom lip is going to be. So if you look at that, that's about almost halfway down the patch, and that's kind of a good way to figure out where you want to put your top teeth. Okay, all right, so what I'm going to do now is going to cover my bottom. My bottom lip's going to go over my bottom teeth, cover those bottom teeth. That's going to go on that line. Top teeth are going to go about halfway down the patch. Okay, now when I put my mouthpiece in, okay, I'm going to try to keep that same angle, because I'm going to just use the mouthpiece and the neck at first. And I'm going to make sure I try to keep it at the same angle as if I was playing my instrument. So it's going to be slightly angled this way, okay? Make sure you don't put it in like this or like this. Okay, just at that angle, and you'll be able to feel a comfortable angle in your mouth. It's going to feel a little awkward if it's too high or if it's too low. Okay, it's a nice balance point if you have it in the right spot. Okay, so again, bottom lip is going to cover the bottom teeth and go on the back line where that line is on the reed. Your top teeth are going to go on top of the mouthpiece, almost halfway down the patch. Okay. Notice I bring my mouth around the mouthpiece, so I have that drawstring. Corners toward the middle. Upper lip is pulled firmly against the teeth. My bottom lip is acting like it's a cushion, but because my corners are being pulled in towards the mouthpiece, it's keeping my chin nice and flat when I'm playing. My upper lip firmness and my corner firmness is keeping that chin where it needs to be, but I'm still wanting to maintain, even though it's covered, I'm maintaining that I have this as a cushion. Okay, so I'm gonna try that again. Okay, so I get a nice clear open sound when I do that. But the main thing is just making sure you get enough air through it, okay? Thinking that nice warm air sound pushing through, okay? All right, so let's try that now with the saxophone. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook that up, okay? And I've got that bounced on there, and I have my neck strap hooked up. Now, first of all, I'm going to put it in the right position when I'm playing. So I'm going to make sure that I have it turned slightly. so that when I'm holding the saxophone, I can have it in the right position, okay? All right, so I've got my bottom right hand thumb is under the thumb rest. My left hand is gonna be over these keys right here, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put my first finger down on the first button here. That's gonna be a B, a third line B. I'm gonna go ahead and put that down, okay? Top teeth on the top of the mouthpiece, about halfway down the patch. Bottom lip is covering the bottom teeth at that point where we found where the reed and the mouthpiece come together. Okay? Okay. Corners pulled towards the mouthpiece, nice and firm here. Thinking nice and warm air. Okay. Okay, my teeth are firmly pressed upon the top of the mouthpiece. That's really important too, that your top teeth are very firm on the top of the mouthpiece too. Even if you have your teeth sitting on the top, but they're not pressed into the mouthpiece, you're not going to get a very stable sound. It sounds like this if you don't have them pressed firmly. Okay, so I have my embouchure looks correct, right? I have got my bottom lip, it's got a cushion, I got this pulled in, this looks nice and firm, my chin is flat, but the sound is not stable. It's really warbly sounding. So my top teeth weren't pressed into the mouthpiece firm enough, okay? So to remember how to do that is making sure that you have this pulled up. Okay, make sure you have it high enough so that you're not dropping your neck down to get to it or you're not reaching for it. So I have to be able to rest my top teeth very firmly on top of the mouthpiece. Right on top. Okay, like that. Okay, now another thing you want to make sure you do is make sure that you keep your angle in the right place, because if you bring your bell too far forward, even if you have your top teeth in the right spot and you're pressing down, you bring your bell forward, you can't get a good stable sound either. Everything is like really, really unstable and it doesn't feel good when you're playing. So okay, so the angle is everything too, making sure you're at the right height and at the right angle when you're playing too. All right, next thing, we want to talk about how much mouthpiece to put in your mouth, okay? So we talked about how your top teeth want to be about halfway down the patch, right? And your bottom lip's going to be about right there. Now, if you don't have enough mouthpiece in your mouth, your air can't make this reed vibrate, and that's how we get our sound, is by making the air vibrate. So if I only have my teeth on the edge, right on the tip part right here, okay? That's the kind of sound I get even if I have the correct embouchure. I can't get enough air through it. So just by sliding it in, I can really open up the sound much more too. So if you're getting that really kind of unstable sort of pinch sort of sound when you're playing, just push more mouthpiece into your mouth. But remember, you still have to have nice firm top teeth on the top, and the neck strap has to be high enough. Okay, too much mouthpiece, okay? I have it here. It's too wide and it's not focused, and so that's too much. So if you're way up here towards the end of the patch, that's why I like patches, because they kind of help you. It's a little bit of a guide too. Way up here, you want to make sure that it's not that far, okay? Where you want to be, okay? Too far is this. Unfocused, right? Okay, too little. You can hear all those different sounds, and you don't want those sounds. You want it to be nice and focused in the middle. So you have it right about in there, okay? Make sure that you have a good neck strap and that the neck strap doesn't slip. Sometimes if the neck strap doesn't hold well and it kind of wants to go down like this, you start kind of compensating by dropping your neck down and bringing your bell forward, okay? And that sound's not going to work either. Again, you can't get a good focus sound when you're playing. So make sure that your neck strap holds it in place in the proper. So got to pull that up, or just keep checking it. You know, if your neck strap wants to keep sliding, you know, and you don't have time to go get one or can't afford to get another one, just make sure you keep pulling that up, okay? And then you can keep it in the right spot here. So your top teeth can rest really firmly on the top. Remember, it's more than just setting your top teeth on the top. It's more than that. You actually have to have the mouthpiece and the saxophone high enough that you can actually put your top teeth on without changing your head position when you're playing. Okay, if you have it down too low and you feel like you're doing this, we don't want to do that either. Again, it's all about maintaining your posture so your flow of your air comes out in a nice even position and flow. If you look at my posture from the side, you want to have your head in this position, not in this position, and not like this, like you're reaching forward too. So if you combine the correct embouchure with the correct posture, you should be golden. There shouldn't be any problems with that too. So those are the things to remember. Just think about that when you're trying to put your get your embouchure in the way that you want it to be. Okay, so that's how you form your saxophone embouchure, and I will see you the next time.